How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to the product overload you didn't know you wanted. Wizards of the Coast yesterday announced several products coming out this summer, and it doesn't even account for the Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate set coming out next month, with the only mention of the set crossover release into Alchemy and Historic, with an Alchemy Horizons Baldur's Gate set putting over 250 cards into those formats on July 7th, which is great if you actually care about those formats, but outside of Historic Brawl, I'm not really going to give a damn about that release. Now, moving on to some Commander news, we have Warhammer 40k Universes Beyond Precons coming out. The previews begin July 26th, with the release on August 12th and a weekend launch event on August 12th through 14th. They have the names of the decks and the colors already revealed. We have Tyranid Swarm, a green-blue-red deck, Forces of the Imperium, a white-blue-black deck, Necron Dynasties, a mono-black deck, and the Ruinous Powers, a blue-black-red deck. Each deck comes in its own standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which are going to be all foil with a new Surge foil treatment. They haven't revealed what those look like yet. And unique Universes Beyond card frames. They're also going to be releasing, from August 12th through the 22nd, 3 coinciding secret layers: Warhammer 40k Orcs, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and Blood Bowl. No other details on the secret layers have been revealed yet. Some of the cards previewed include the front-facing commander from the Ruinous Powers deck, Abaddon the Despoiler. For 2 blue, black, red, you get it. A legendary creature, Astartes Warrior with Trample. It's a 5/5, and it has the ability Mark of Chaos Ascendant. During your turn, spells you cast from your hand mounting a value X or less have Cascade, where X is the total amount of life your opponents have lost this turn. So for example, if you swing at someone for 5 damage during the second main phase, all of your spells, mana value 5 or less, all have Cascade until end of turn. If you don't know what Cascade is, it's a trigger on the spells that you cast that have Cascade that says you start to reveal cards from the top of your deck until you hit a spell with mana value less than the Cascade spell. So you're going to add Cascade to whatever spell you have. But here's a little fun fact. If you have a spell with Cascade already and you trigger Abaddon's ability and it meets the mana value requirement, it's going to gain an additional Cascade trigger, making a Cascade again. So there's some fun. We also have Blood for the Blood God, one of the first cards I've ever seen with an exclamation point outside of an unset. For 8 black, black, red, this spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature that died this turn. Discard your hand, then draw 8 cards. Blood for the Blood God deals 8 damage to each opponent. Exile it from the game. So Damnation, and then copy the spell with like a fork or something like that for maximum hilarity. The third card revealed was Vanguard Suppressors, 3 in a blue, flying 3/2. It has Squad 2. It says, as you cast a spell, you may pay 2 any number of times, and you create that many token copies of the creature as it enters the battlefield. You also have Suppressing Fire, its special ability. Whenever Vanguard Suppressor deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So, oh, hey look, it's Multi-Kicker with a new name. Who knew? So, in the early game, this card is actually pretty good. You just get a 3/2 flyer that draws you cards, but it's actually quite possibly game-ending insane if you end up with like infinite mana and you just make infinite numbers of these things, and if somebody can't wipe the board, you just win. If you attend the pre-release events for the 40k decks, they even have a promotional version of the card Fabricate, which was an old Magic the Gathering card from, I think, the original Mirrodin block, if I remember right. But instead, it's going to have a Warhammer 40k themed art. All in all, if you like the Universes Beyond properties in Magic the Gathering, this is something for you to get excited about, especially if you're a Commander player. Maybe if you play Legacy or Vintage, there's some things that get played from there. But if not, you're probably going to have to wait until they turn these into Magic the Gathering forms instead. I personally don't mind the Universes Beyond so much, but right now I'm on a product overload with so many things coming out. I don't even mess with the precons anymore. The last precon I bought was the Ikoria ones from 2020. Moving on to our next set of product news in this release, we have Double Masters 2022 coming up. For those that missed out on the first Double Masters, you're guaranteed 2 rares and or mythic rares and 2 foils in each of the draft boosters. The previews begin June 16th, so actually a little bit more than a month from today. And the set releases on July the 8th. Looking at the early pricing on Amazon, it would appear the draft boosters are going to cost right around $10 to $11 a piece, as they have a 3-pack of draft boosters going for $30.98 on pre-sale on Amazon. There are also collector boosters for Devil Masters 22, which appear to be around $57 to $58 a pack, with the collector booster box going for $228.60 as of this recording. But I must repeat this, buyer beware. If you don't already realize this, instead of 12 collector boosters in that box, you're only getting 4 in that box. So I just want everybody to be aware of that fact and not expect to get 12 boosters like the standard set collector boosters have in them, and that would just be a really nasty surprise. Early previews in this release show that we're going to be getting a reprint of Kozilek, Butcher of Truth. So Commander players, rejoice, here's a chance to get a Titan without killing your wallet. Renin 6, which is a modern all-star. It was banned in Legacy about 3 years ago because Teamer Delver got overpowered with it. But I will say this card bears watching. They haven't banned it yet in Modern, and there are a lot of calls for it to get banned since the channel lands from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty were released. And now that there's more copies getting out in the wild and more players going to try this, if the win rates on those decks go up, this card may get banned. And the last card that they revealed in this was Liliana, the Last Hope. Cheap Planeswalkers are generally expensive due to being highly usable in the non-rotating formats, and the Last Hope is no exception. This should help with the pricing. On a personal note, I love this card. I hate the art for this version they've shown. No offense to the artist, but this just seems like a very generic painting of Liliana with no context as to what she's doing or where she's at in the multiverse. The original just had so much more going for it thematically and made Liliana just seem like a total badass. Did you think we were done with all this? You're full of it. Another announcement that Dominaria United is coming in September on the 9th, with pre-release events happening from September 2nd through the 8th. Forget your weekend pre-release, it's going to be a week-long pre-release. This set marks the beginning of Magic's 30th anniversary celebration, and the key art on the booster packs is anything to go by. It's going to be crazy. On the draft booster box, we have Archmage Joda, Karn, and Shauna, all characters that were in the last Dominaria set. On the set booster box, we have a Johnny Goldmane and Liliana fighting side by side, so it would appear that Liliana is going to be coming out of hiding and possibly rejoining the Gatewatch against the Phyrexians, or whatever the threat in this set happens to be. For the collector boosters, we have Art, which has made most people think that this is a nightmare merged version of Braid's Cabal minion who, spoiler alert, appeared to have died in the novel for the Scourge set by pulling herself into dementia space to prevent herself from suffocating to death. But apparently she didn't die, and it looks like she's coming back as a nightmare of some kind herself. Lastly, we have the announcement that Jumpstart will not be coming back as a standalone product like the original set. Instead, starting with Dominaria United, each set is getting its own Jumpstart product keyed to the set that it comes from, and that the theme boosters are going to go away because of this. Each pack will have one rare or mythic from the current set that's in print, 2 foil basic lands, and a mechanically unique rare designed specifically for that Jumpstart set. I'm kind of leery about the unique rares designed for Jumpstart because then you're gonna run into a situation kind of like the elf from the first Jumpstart set. My brain is having a, or I'll look it up and add it to the thing, but that card got really expensive, even though it was like because of shortages on the set. That card is still pretty expensive for what it is. So what does everybody think? Are you excited for the upcoming sets and ancillary products, or are you just overwhelmed and just want them to stop? Share your thoughts below, and as always, have a great day.